welcome back to my channel. So I thought since it's Valentine's Day next week, I would talk about my gating experience, gating with a disability. I definitely have a lot of thoughts, and I feel like gating in general is hard for anyone, but when you have disabilities on top of it, I just feel like it makes it even harder. So let's go back to actually just after I graduated college. So I decided I wanted to join a dating app, and I remember one of my friends texted me and was like, let's video chat. And I remember telling her like a while before that I wanted to join a dating app, but I was nervous and I was just like so scared. But this day I was like, you know what? I told her, I want to do this. It's the time. It's the time to do it. So she helped me, make my profile. We did all that. And just like that, I was on a dating app. And one thing I will say is one of the things I was thinking about, and I remember talking to this with my friend, was if I was going to say I was disabled. And honestly, I was thinking of not saying it just because I don't want people to judge me before they truly know me, and my disabilities, they don't define me. I'm so much more than my disabilities. Yes, my disabilities impact my life a lot, every day, every second of every day, but it's not who I am. So I thought, you know what, if they see I have cerebral palsy, I just feel like they won't see anything else, and I don't want that. So I remember deciding, you know what, I'm not gonna say I have any disabilities. And the one thing that I did was all the pictures I chose, you wouldn't be able to tell I had any disabilities. And I know not every disabled person can do that, but for me, I did that. And my plan was, you know what, if it comes up, I'm going to tell them. Or if we decide to meet, I'm going to tell them before we meet. Because I didn't want to be that girl who decides, okay, like, let's meet, and then tell the guy, like, on the first date. Like, I definitely wanted to tell them before we met, because I don't want to waste, my time. I don't want to waste their time. So that was the plan. But I also was curious to know, like, what if I do tell them in my profile, if I make it obvious? So my first thought was to try it like this and see how it goes. So that's what I did, and I remember one guy, we just sent memes to each other, and I remember actually at first I was so picky. My friend was like, oh my goodness, you're only swiping like right, like every like 100 guys and you're swiping left like 9% of the time. And I'm just like, I know, I'm so picky. She was like, you know what, you're never gonna match with anyone. So I remember becoming less and less picky. But yeah, I was sending memes to one guy. Like, that was our whole like conversation, was just sending memes. So that was hilarious. I would say for the first like a long time, like over a year, like nothing happened. I was just like talking, having some good conversations. The times where my disabilities did come up, actually one thing I will say is oftentimes they would ask me if I could drive, and that's when it would come up. And I would be like, no, like I can't drive. And then I would say I have a visual impairment, and that's why, because they would be like, why can't you drive? So my visual impairment would come up before my cerebral palsy, and I feel like that's another reason why I didn't want to, say my disabilities on my profile, because it's not like I just have cerebral palsy. I have epilepsy, I have a visual impairment, and technically the reason I can't drive is not because of my cerebral palsy, so it's just like so complicated. I don't want to be like, okay, on my profile be like, I have cerebral palsy, visual impairment, like epilepsy, like no one is gonna swipe right. I feel like if I put all my disabilities. And the one thing I found so interesting is like a lot of the guys I was talking to were like so nice and was like, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. And I just found that so interesting, because not once in my life I feel like a guy in real life has said that to me, that I have met in, you know, just real life. And does that have to do with my disabilities? Because these guys that I'm talking to, you know, at first they don't know I'm disabled. I didn't say that in my profile. And it's just like so interesting to me that, you know, maybe that did impact, you know, me in high school. Like in college, I was, you know, all focused about school, of course, but who knows? Anyway, I didn't meet anyone. A call, actually, I joined another dating app, and I'm gonna talk about this because I would not recommend this, and that is Facebook dating. Please do not use Facebook dating. Any dating app I would recommend over Facebook dating. It is not safe. I'm not gonna go into detail, but I did have good conversations with a lot of people, actually a ton. I feel like a ton more guys were like more like active on Facebook dating. However, with dating apps and dating apps in general, you have to be very careful, and I learned that the hard way, and I knew this coming in. This is why I was so scared, because I knew there were scammers out there. I knew there was people who would try to catfish you, and unfortunately that's what happened to me. But like, honestly, I blame myself because I saw so many red flags. I saw so many red flags that this guy, whoever it was, honestly, was not who he was, like the pictures were, and he, like, this person was just trying to scam me. So I blame myself, but yeah, any dating app, that is a risk. However, after my experience, after that very scary experience, I just Googled it just to see if anyone else has experienced it. And when I Googled it, all I saw was people saying, oh my goodness, like every one of these profiles on Facebook dating is pretty much a scam. I couldn't believe it. Now, I will say, in contrast to that, I did go on one date that was a real person that was from Facebook dating. From my experience, it honestly was a good date, and I just remember, funny story though, it lasted like over 2 hours, and I remember my mom texting me and I did not message her quick enough, so she literally thought I got kidnapped. Something happened. Good thing I didn't, because now I know, oh my goodness, I would never use Facebook dating ever again. You could try it, but just be so careful. Like, in my opinion, there are many dating apps that are way more safe. In terms of my experience with talking to guys and, you know, them not wanting to, you know, continue talking or go on a date because I'm disabled, honestly, that hasn't happened that often. There's one time that honestly I feel like it's more funny than frustrating. At first it was a little frustrating, but then after I was like, honestly, this is hilarious. We were actually not talking for that long, and a conversation came up where it made sense to, you know, tell him about my disabilities, so I did, and this guy unmasked me right away. So it was very clear right after I like told him about my disabilities, and then he unmasked me. Like, it's pretty obvious he did that because he found out I had disabilities, and it was frustrating. But the reason why it was, like, I found it more hilarious was the fact that, so there's this thing on this app I was using that you can super like someone. So this guy literally super liked me. Meaning he didn't just like swipe like, he was like, oh my goodness, like I really like this girl. And yeah, he super liked me. And yeah, well, apparently he didn't want me to be disabled. I guess that really screwed that up for him. Yeah, it is frustrating, but honestly, like, when it happens, you just have to remind yourself that it literally has nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with them. And you know what? It's honestly for the best, because you don't want to waste your time with someone like that. I'm actually am surprised that it hasn't happened often. And maybe that is the fact that I didn't put that I have cerebral palsy and my other disabilities on my profile. Who knows? But actually, after my very scary experience on Facebook dating, I took a break, and honestly, I really haven't been using dating apps at all since. And I did, however, decide to put that I have cerebral palsy on one of the only dating apps I have now. And while I wish I could say more about that, since I haven't used the app in forever, I can't really say like the difference between putting your disability on your profile versus not. I have like briefly talked to like a few different guys, but like it hasn't lasted long, because I honestly am just like so terrified, to be honest with you, that I just like at this point in my life, like I'd rather be safe than just, I don't know, it kind of scared me off from dating apps in general. And I don't know. Another thing I want to talk about is actually ghosting. So I don't know if any of you guys have experienced someone ghosting you, but it's the worst thing ever. And I remember, oh my goodness, one guy I was talking to for like, actually it wasn't that long, it was a few months, but that few months we were talking for a long, like every day. And all of a sudden, well, I feel like slowly, like he started to talk to me less, and then I started to notice like red flags where I was like, oh my goodness, okay, this guy, I don't know if I'm ever gonna meet him, but like I started to get like feelings for him, and then all of a sudden, like he completely ghosted me, and it sucks. Like I rather have someone like tell me straight up honestly than to ghost me. It's just like to leave me hanging and just leave me with questions. It's the worst feeling, and I don't know, sometimes I'm just like, is it me? Because it has happened quite a few times. But anyway, so that brings me to today. So as I said, I have taken a break from dating, and I'm honestly not interested. I feel like, you know, for a while, you know, I wanted to find someone, a guy. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm running out of time. But like, I'm literally only 25, okay? I have enough time, and this is a reminder that you have enough time, okay? You're not behind just because you see other people on social media, you know, getting married, getting engaged. You are not behind. We are all on our own paths. Everything will work out when it's meant to be. And yeah, so that's honestly where I'm at. Like, I know a lot of people, they say, oh my god, when you stop looking, that's when they come. And honestly, I kind of do believe that, but like, I'm starting to lose hope. But I have had times where like, I'm not looking for anyone, and then like, a guy would show up and like, start talking to me. I'm just like, okay. But those experiences has not ended well, so yeah, that is, I think, it that I want to talk about. My experience, you know, dating, it hasn't been the best. I have experienced some scary moments, but I have learned a lot, and you know, I have great conversations with, you know, guys, and it has, you know, been good. I went on one date, even though the guy ghosted me. At least I experienced that, and I think it was a good date. Maybe I talked too much, but at the end of the day, you just gotta be who you are, okay? Don't pretend you're someone else. Like, be who you are, and if the person doesn't like you, that's okay. It's not meant to be, but always be true to who you are, and yeah, just remember everything will work out, and just be so careful whatever dating app, like, even though there's definitely, you know, better dating apps than others, like, you have to be so careful because no matter what, like, there's always that chance that you could be talking to a scammer. And honestly, like, any app, any social media app, like, literally anything, be so careful because there are people out there that, like, even video chatting, like, me thinking, being like, oh my god, if I video chat the person, he's real. Not necessarily. There's technology out there and just, like, scammers that are, like, so good at, like, knowing what to do that they can literally fake a video and pretend they're the person they're trying to be. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I hope I didn't scare you. I hope I didn't scare you, but I just wanted to be honest and talk about my experience. I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you very soon in my next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.